Hey, good morning, folks. AJ back. We are back down here at Rising Valley, and we will be finishing today. We're based off what we talked about before. I've already added the extra adapter. Getting ready to run this cable. We're going to put this into input number 2 so that the TV will always be connected and show the same thing as all the other TVs, but we will just change this to input number 2 if they ever want to do with a stage display. So let me pop up here real quick, and thankfully I don't have to go very far up here because the holes for the TV and everything are right there. So let me go do that. We'll be back, and then we have to bore a hole into the pastor's office. Got some more powerful drill bit to cut through there, close that off, do all the nice little conduit, and then we'll do a final review of what we've got done here. All right, folks, so we got that done. As you can see, that's input number 2 and input number 1 is matching. But if we come here and switch this, it could easily go back to the same input as everything else. So, and they said they actually have already gotten presenter the paid version, so let's go ahead and configure that real quick. All right, so now that we're in here, we're gonna go to our settings. Actually, let me change that because the display should be 1080p. It's doing 720. It doesn't matter, but it can support it, but I'll just leave it at 720. That's fine. So back in here, we're gonna go to our screen configuration. So we have our main right there, display. Then our stage is that one. So now, as you see, that's done. The back screen is done. We have to configure it. Can't see it, it says configure the stage display. So that's what we'll do. Stage display. How do we want to do this? I'll do next. Make that just a little bit smaller. Make the current bigger. And then we'll just leave it like that. And now, I think I had the Bibles on here. Now, what's the default translation of the Bible y'all use? King James, or it doesn't matter?
I think you use King James, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. So let's set our defaults here. We'll set that default translation. We'll do King James. Hide translation. Scripture reference, we'll do that at the bottom right. And title, we don't need that, don't need that. We'll save all of those things. So now, if we come in here, we'll just do a new service, a temporary one. We'll add some backgrounds on here. I need to update the ATEM software. Not the ATEM, the AMD software. Anyway, we'll just pick something simple. Get this one, put our scripture. Let's do Psalm 100. Search. And we launch it, and we bring this up on the TV. Let's go to the scripture. We'll crank the size up, but then as you can see, big and bold. If they can't read that, somebody needs some new glasses. If they can't read that. But all right, let me level that off because that's a little bit off, and then we focus on the box, and then we're up and out of here. Now the other thing, we're going to be back because they're actually putting the outlet here for the musicians, but at the same time, I gave them a quote for some new speakers. The speakers were originally there. They're moving them here. And because they're doing an outlet, we're probably going to go with some powered speakers. So we'll be back to do that, but they're already running the lines. And we might need to change the wiring for those. So we might have to go back up in the ceiling if need be, or we just run it across. But back here, they actually cut through for me, so I don't have to do all of that. So we're just going to, and man, I was really close. And they actually puttied up this. We're gonna put a plate on here, close that off, and then run this back through on the other side. Put a plate on here and cover that hole up, put a conduit, and then we'll be good to go. Guess what, folks? We are done. Let me take you on a tour of the transformation that we did here at Rising Valley Baptist Church. All right, so before we get started, let's revisit the diagram here. I'll have a link down below to how we did everything here. I will update this because we did add another connection for how we did the stage display. This is actually connecting directly to here. So if I had a pin on me, which I don't, we would just draw a line from here to the back TV. But let's walk through the whole thing. So first, here on the back wall, we have our 20X AVCAMS PTZ. We have our back 75-inch that is configured for stage display. But if we switch this to input number 1, it is the same thing that's going to the HDMI splitter that's going to all the TVs. This is the option that we just recently added, which was just another cable going there. All right, if we come over here and visit the media booth that they built, we ran all our cables through the conduit here. This is some extra cables here, coax. I don't know if they're going to use these or not, but either way, I left them there. We have all of our cables ran up under here. I'm gonna probably put this in a conduit, that black conduit there. But anyway, we got our PoE switch down there. This is probably going to go away with some additions I'm going to tell you about here in a second. But they still have their existing sound system. We have our 1/4 inches that are going out into the ATEM Television Studio HD. 3 camera connections. We also have our computer coming in on number 4. We have our dual monitor mount here, one for the multi-view, and we also have custom presentation computer here that is running Presenter. They have just upgraded to the paid one, so that's how we're able to do the stage display. More than enough speed for live streaming, so we're right there. All of our sound coming in, all of the good stuff. With our 1 terabyte drive for recording, you see we can record for 243 hours on here. So that's all good, and you see all 4 of our cameras. Let's scoop this out of the way. We got ours networked in, hard-coded to IP addresses. First camera starting at 201. Joystick is at 200, so 200, 201, 202, 203 for all of our cameras. So if we go to camera number 1, is what we're predominantly already using. We can always zoom in on that. Go to our camera number 2, which is our side one. Let's go ahead and adjust that so we can get another shot here. And then if we go to camera number 3, now I was telling them they actually did raise the chandeliers up, so that's good. So it shouldn't be that much of an issue. I didn't even really notice it when I zoomed in, but we'll look at it again. But this banner is probably going to come down as well too. But we get a clear shot of pretty much everybody inside the sanctuary in there. And let's go back to number 1. And I really didn't notice how that chandelier impacts. So normally, like about right here, we would still see the chandeliers in the shot, but it's good that they're not there. So even if we pull all the way out, that's when you can see everything. But we punch in to right there. It's looking pretty good. Chandelier's not in the shot at all. All right, so that's what we've talked about so far. The hard drive, the ATEM, our 4 connections to our cameras. We have the audio coming in. We have our multi-view, our presentation PC. Now the other out is going to our, where's it at? Yeah, HDMI splitter. Oh, I had 2 directional arrows. That's wrong. Anyway, this arrow is going to our HDMI splitter that feeds all of our TVs. That lives back here. So let's walk on back here. There's the side camera right there with our conduit. We got our front camera up there as well too. They're actually adding some jacks here, and I might as well tell you, the speakers that were here originally, they're moving to right here, and since they're putting the outlet down here for the musicians, I went ahead and told them to go ahead and asked them to go ahead and put another outlet there, and we're going to go with powered speakers right here. We're going to put some Casa plugs there so they can turn those off remotely, and have them right here that can free up some stuff. So we're going to have to run new cables here, get some other powered speakers they plug in and all that other good stuff. So that's what we're going to be coming back to do. But if we come over here, we got our conduit and all this other stuff in place right there to pass through. Brian punched through just like over at Abundant Life. I was almost there, but the studs got in the way. But we got here. And the pastor's TV. We have the sanctuary. And back here in the fellowship hall, we have a 65. It was a 50 in pastor's office, 65 back here with the audio going into the audio receiver right here that would give us bigger, louder sound than those speakers. So most likely we're probably going to take those down when we come back. But let me step over this ladder here. And the HDMI splitter was mounted right there to the wall. So that's what all of our connections are coming down to and running through to power all the TVs. We still have a connection for 3 more TVs if there was ever a need to do those. But I think we are really good. We're going to be back here, like I said, for the speakers, but then we're also going to be back to train and be with them for a Sunday. I had some stuff that freed up, so it may be this Sunday. It may be next Sunday. I don't know. But we're going to be here. They're actually going with me because the person that they were talking to said that they wouldn't get speakers in about 3 weeks. I can get them in about 3 days. So I'm waiting here for them to cut me a check for the other speakers because these were the original ones. And actually, they have the mount still. So I can actually... Oh, they don't have the pin on these, so I will have to get some more speaker mounts. But these were the speakers. These things were massive. And these were spike-ons. I might have to get into some soldering like we did at New Jerusalem or Mount Nebo. I forgot they changed their name, so I forgot which one it is, what they go by now. But we're going to get some new speakers and speaker wires to connect to that to replace those. Give them smaller, more powerful, and excited about that. But again, thank you, Rising Valley Baptist Church, for trusting me and doing this. It looks like a bunch of people were coming by the church. They were all watching the videos that I did, which is actually great. And that's the reason why I do this, so that people that don't know what I do, they can see the work that I'm doing. They can see the before and after. And the congregation is getting them excited to see what's going on and what changes are being done. Because down here in Gloucester, I actually talked to another church here in this area. When I came and visited here, it was another church down here as well too. Hopefully this is what the church is saying, that this is the first church in this area that's really doing anything. And it's a small community, but they're tight. So by being down here, I've had about like 3 other churches ask for my information. So really excited about really transforming and bringing some excitement here to the ministry, as well as allowing them to reach and impact and spread the message to more people, not just in here in the community, but to the state, city, state, country, world at large. But if you're ever interested in me wanting to do a consultation for you, come on site, or do this type of work, you can contact me at ajayhomes.com/consultations to set up something. Give me about 48 to 72 hours to respond. Or if you go through the website, you can just book it right there. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. I think Atlanta, Chicago, starting another install in Richmond, finishing up Abundant Life, I think in about 2 weeks. Their first service is going to be the first Sunday in December. So we got some time to finish that. Amazing Grace Word Fellowship is where I'm starting tomorrow. We have somebody, we're supposed to be going to do an on-site and help out a church in Chicago, Atlanta, and New York. This is all before the end of the year, so really excited. And then I have 2 other churches that are kind of in a holding pattern that I'm waiting to hear back from. I should hear back from this week. So we got about like 5 to 7 more installs before the end of the year. So I hope y'all like the stuff. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And also share the video, folks. I mean, I get the views, but I want this to be shared to inspire other ministries, that you don't have to be a super massive ministry to do stuff like this. I really don't talk about the prices of what I do here, but I can honestly say I'm most of the time I win these contracts because I'm significantly lower than other people. And I don't do it just to make money. I really do this. This is my ministry, to help other ministries get ahead of and move forward. But then also show you that, hey, I learned this myself. Hopefully you can see the stuff I do. And if you're empowered, you can actually do this yourself. I encourage you to try and do it yourself, but you can always hire me as a consultant to help you out and be there to guide you if need be, or we can do the work either way. But anyway, I'm tired. Thankfully, we finished this up really fast. So I'm gonna get home, ship out a computer, get my daughter, and we're gonna maybe do some videos and live stream reviews. But anyway, folks, this is AJ. We catch you on the next video. Later.